Read it, just
Do you want to
skimmed
wait
through it.
till live comes back up?
Okay.
And say, hold off 1 second. It takes a couple minutes.
If it cooperates with you.
Right? Okay, we're back.
Back.
Yep.
Okay, on this farm cash rental agreement, on the first page, number 3, rent. At the bottom of that, it states, in addition, lessee shall have access to no additional charge to the outbuildings on the county farm in their current condition as is. They do not have access at all.
Yeah.
Don't have access at all? Okay, I think we
that
just
goes-
took it off of the prior agreement, but
Yeah, and that needs to come off.
I had a question about what buildings they'd have access to. Okay, let's see.
None.
So do we want to take it off, or do you want it to say that they will have no access? So it's,
Well, we got the other
Right.
agreement for the leasing the building.
For the other buildings, okay,
So I think just take it off.
Just, remove
It's
it.
sufficient. Just pull it off of there.
okay.
That's a good catch, Bill. I didn't
So
even.
that's the farmland,
Yeah,
lease,
Yeah.
farm, okay, farmland lease, okay, that makes sense.
and I see everything else was
the bottom, very bottom.
taken out of
Okay.
that, the 12
In
acres.
addition, they
that's all I
said no
wanted.
additional charge of
Yeah.
outbuildings, okay. We'll take off that last line,
In
okay.
other words, they have access to the acreage that they're.
But
able
not
to
the farm
And not the buildings.
Buildings, okay.
Okay.
That's a good.
And then I did have a question on the buildings part of it. I don't know if we pass it on to you, but one of the outbuildings is used by Soil and Water currently, is that right? Or will be?
No.
Will
Or
be.
no?
Used by the highway department currently.
Highway Department currently. So I did not see where that building was accepted out of the last building lease. So I think we ought to put some language in to describe which building is not in that building lease. If that makes sense.
Could be.
Because
I
we're
mean,
not
it was-
leasing
it was-
all the outbuildings, we're only leasing all the outbuildings minus the one used for the
Minus the
county
pole
highway
barn,
department.
Yeah,
So how do we describe that?
pole barn,
Yeah, the red,
Highway department pole barn, or
yeah.
is it red, white?
red, I think, isn't it?
No,
No,
it's,
it's not.
it's
No.
pretty
Good
faded.
morning, Cindy.
Pretty faded.
Some of the paint's not, it's more or less white. I guess.
So we would say access to all the barn and buildings except for the highway department pole barn.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more thing on this building outbuilding rental agreement. I think last year he paid, we only got one, I think we're going to probably get one bid on
Your
it.
president, didn't you?
You think what?
I think we probably only get one bid on that, on those buildings.
Yeah.
What was that, 1,200 last year,
Yeah.
1,500?
I just told him, I said,
Remember, Susie?
Need
Not last
I
year.
don't remember. It's a 3-year lease,
Yeah.
yeah.
I had that. I
talking to,
think I still have it.
Hefty.
Yes, she is.
Can we put a
I'm
minimum?
thinking it was
It was
Hey,
cheap.
the clock's running, so are we
750.
on?
Yeah, 1,500 total.
1,500, sounds right.
So are
We're-
we in session?
Yeah.
Did we start the session? Did we
Yes.
officially start it?
Just
Oh, okay.
started the session
I
a
wanted to
couple
make sure,
minutes
okay,
ago.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to, I didn't know if we
Yeah,
officially, I'm
we're
sorry.
on the clock.
We restarted live.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was 750, or 1,500 for the year
1,500 a
in two
year.
payments.
Which is really
Cheap.
inexpensive. Can we put a minimum on that?
Well,
Because if only one bidder comes in and says, "Oh, I'll give you 1,500,
right.
and I think we need to have more than that, or we don't even need to rent it out. We can
What
take
is
the-
market for that? A good question is, what is market? What's the market rate?
that, when you consider the square footage,
That's a lot of space.
there's a lot of space. And he's got cattle in there, up to 100 head. He's got, last year he had that barn stuffed clear full of hay.
1,500 for the year?
Yeah.
I guarantee you there are people that will store their boats and cars in there for less, or for more money than that if they wanted to. I mean, so yeah, I think you got to put a floor on it, and I think 1,500 is too low.
Well, if
Yeah,
you-
yeah, that's my thinking. It's
you
too,
use those numbers that the mayor came up
250.
with on the
Yeah.
old highway building,
Storage
but
unit,
from
10 by
like
24.
just storage over there was like $8 a square foot a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so even if you discounted that by
I think you-
25% or something, you still have well more than,
I
I
think
don't know
you
what
can-
the square footage is out there, but
We had a schematic, I've seen a schematic at one time, the square footage ground-wise,
Yeah.
but it's got 2 feet.
feet though. Look at how high you can, like, hey, you can stack,
Oh,
gosh, I don't know. You can stack, hey, what, 25 foot in there?
yeah, it's tall.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of
And that-
storage.
And that's a free, what I want to say, it doesn't have trusses across, like a lot of barns. It's all open.
Yeah.
It has those angle trusses on the sides. So, yeah. I mean, considering it was 1,500 the last 3 years,
Double it.
I'm thinking at least.
Yeah. I would start a minimum as double, and if someone wants it,
Okay.
great. If not, we'll use it for something. I mean, 1,500,
Yeah.
Okay.
just having that access if we need it for 1,500 is worth it to us.
Well, and the liability and whatever else might occur in that barn.
At $3,000, I would start listening. Maybe they'll start a little bidding war. Maybe someone will pay $5,000, you know?
So we'd put that in, I think we'd have to put that in the
Source
bidding
and
notice,
GM
because that notice hasn't gone out yet, I don't think, because it hasn't been approved yet, so,
The advertisement?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we already advertised it out, notice to bidders, yeah.
Is that a problem?
Well, we didn't put in the notice a minimum floor. So we either probably would have to do a new notice, or,
We got time to do new notice?
because the lease is starting, what, March 1st? End of February?
Yeah, when's the bids due? I had that
The
too.
bids are due on the 22nd, next Monday.
So the bids are due in 2 weeks, so if you put the, I'm just saying with the putting a floor in, we've already done notice to bidders because we had to in the timeline, so might be too late to put a floor in.
Does it
You
say
can
anything?
reject bids, I think. I mean, if the bid comes in too low, you could reject it, I think. Like you could reject any bid that is too expensive or too high.
then rebid it.
Yeah.
Rebid it or not
Do a
rebid
new
it?
notice.
Yeah,
That'd be the thing to do, is just reject all bids if you don't want them, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
rebid.
yep, okay.
Yeah.
That'd
I think
save us
because
from
we had to do the
renotice
notice.
and all that. Yeah.
Okay,
I agree.
okay.
Okay. I don't know, I believe. Sandy,
No.
hello, Happy New Year.
Yes, you too, yes. Our once-a-year annual Board of Finance.
And I suppose I'll open it. So as the president, I will open at this time. It's 11:47, the DeKalb County Board of Finance Annual Meeting. And we're ready to go. And so the first thing you want to do is the prior minutes approved, correct?
Yes, they are attached in your packet. I tried to run the forms as we'll discuss them on the agenda. But yes,
Where are those minutes in here?
they are right there. That's the second page of
Yeah,
them. It's
yeah.
right underneath the agenda.
It's the statement of investment policy. I went past it, didn't I?
Yep.
I'm sorry, there we are.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from January 30, 2023.
I'll second.
Okay, we have motion and a second. Any further discussion on the minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Motion carries. The minutes are accepted. Okay. Election of officers, 2024. So it's just me, isn't it, as the president? And
Pretty much, yeah. I think,
I think we only
There
had a
was a-
president, didn't we?
There was president, vice, and
vice
secretary.
president
okay.
and then member, yeah,
Okay, and then a member, yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Nominate Todd Sanderson as president for 2024.
Oh, boy.
I'll second. I'll really second that.
All right, we have a nomination for Todd Sanderson as president by Mike and a second by Bill Hartman. Is there any further discussion there? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor of me being president, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. That motion carries, so I'm president. So now we have a vice president to nominate. Get a motion there.
I'll nominate Mike Watson.
Nomination for Mike Watson. Can I get a second?
How about you?
Want me to second it? I guess Mike can't. Well, he could if he wanted to, but I'll go ahead and I'll second it. As the president, I will make official second here to make Mike Watson the president of the board.
Vice president.
Vice president of the board.
Don't you get sick.
Yeah. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of Mike Watson, vice president, say aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Carries. And then we have a member of the Board of Finance, and I assume I know how this is going. Can I get a motion for the member?
Do you want it called member or do you want it secretary?
Last year, the secretary was Sandy.
Yeah, we didn't have a member one. I'm just trying to make
Yeah,
sure.
we didn't, I don't know, I think just by default,
Does he become member by default? Or?
I believe so, yes.
So do we not need a motion then for a member? Do you automatically? Should we make a motion anyway that he's a member or not?
I'm assuming that you're all members of it by virtue of being the county commissioner.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
That would be my
Okay, so we're
thought.
good there. So
I
we're
think
good
so.
with appointments then, other
Yeah.
than,
Otherwise, you could have
need-
already voted as members, so.
Otherwise,
Everybody else falls in.
yeah,
line
it falls in
probably.
line. Yeah, so we're good there.
and then you need to nominate Sandy for the secretary.
Why isn't that showing up here as secretary?
Did we have that in there last year?
Last year I have that Mike nominated Sandra
'cause
Wilcox
it's
as
right
the
here.
secretary of Board of
Yeah.
Finance.
So we would need
Okay.
to appoint you as secretary.
Okay.
So I need a motion for a secretary, please.
I nominate Sandy Wilcox, secretary.
Okay. So we have a motion for Sandy Wilcox as the secretary and a second from Mike Watson. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor of Sandy being the secretary, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Okay, so we have,
Hey, Joni, would you
Appointments?
mind letting him know that if he wants to come in, he can? Yeah, we're not in executive session. Thank you.
okay, let's talk about the investment policy. Sandy, do you have anything to?
This is the exact policy we had last year. We had broadened that policy to allow me to do some investments through the bond market. I actually didn't take that opportunity over the year during '23, only because the bond market didn't perform like it historically would have performed in the marketing environment. So it was better to stay in the active CD market and whatnot. But I still want that flexibility in '24. So it's the exact policy, just updated for '24.
Okay.
That.
So nothing's changed,
Nothing has changed in it other than the date.
and you didn't take advantage of the bond market, you just stayed in CDs.
I just
But you
stayed
want
in
the
the-
flexibility
I
to
want
be
the
able
flex,
to.
yes, because I still may ladder it
Yes,
and, go into next year with that opportunity to maybe do that.
Did take this out to sign?
No, I have
Okay.
one to pass around once
Thank
it's
you.
approved. I knew you'd need that.
I'll move to approve the investment policy for 2024.
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion about the investment policy? Hearing none, take a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same. Carries on the investment policy. Going right through this.
Yeah, so I will need to have your signatures, so I will pass that around, and then I think Susan has to record that with her stuff then.
I believe that's correct. Okay, moving on. 2023 cash investment report review. Would you like to give us a little insight there, please?
Yes, this is as of December 29th, 2023. This is a snapshot of where our investments were, all the cash that is in all of our bank accounts. So we ended the year pretty strong, $65,583,211. That is opposed to last year where we had, in our minutes, I think it was $54,559,000. So we have more cash reserves. Our CDs, we currently have 4 CDs. I combined a couple throughout the year, invested for a little bit longer term. We started the first one beginning of the year in February. We got 4.91%. By the end of the year, 5.76%. So, yeah, that is awesome. And so I'm hoping then the ones that come due in February and May, I'll extend those out as far as I can to get a decent rate going into the next term. So those are our CDs, which we only have 2.3 million of that, and then our other cash and depositories that we have with our partner banks. I try to keep as much local as I can without, and still provide liquidity. Obviously, community state is where a lot of our funds are. When we bid this out, they gave us, no fees, and they give us a pretty decent rate as far as the interest. Not as good as Trust Indiana, which is to be expected. Trust Indiana is all online. There's not a storefront that they have to maintain or anything like that. And then Flagstar gives us a decent savings account rate, so our cash deposits go there. So of the 65 million, the next page gives the interest that we've earned on all the different funds, a comparison to the last couple of years. So you can see that 23, we earned $3,572,311 in interest alone. That is more interest we've earned in 1 year than we did the prior 10 years combined. So it's when that Federal Reserve, when they mess with those interest rates, that has an impact. So even the following page gives you a breakdown of how much interest we received in each bank. So community state, at the end of the year, we were getting 3.64, whereas Trust Indiana, we were getting 5.43%. So significant difference. So had we kept everything in a local bank, we would have earned about $2 million less interest. So that's why we use Trust Indiana, but at the same time, we want to keep as much. We have a commitment to keep a certain amount here with community state to keep our fees low. So it requires a lot of moving funds, juggling with that. The auditor's office, they work with us when I say no, not today. We got to let's pay it out on Tuesday or Wednesday. So the funds
We
aren't
may
out
not
of-
understand, but we figure out how to work it.
Exactly.
That's the main thing.
So, it's important that, the treasurer has that responsibility to make sure we earn as much interest as possible. Because what that does is when council, when they figure out what, in the budget, they're working on a certain cash reserve. Jeff Peters from whatever organization he's with, or the investment company, they're very conservative when they tell us that we have to keep within a certain cash reserve. Anything we earn above the $350,000 that he has in there, anything we earn is kind of extra money for the county. We've $350,000 thousand is what they anticipate. We're at 3.5 million. That's extra money we could use for the jail or for any other improvement. I mean, it is definitely out there.
Keep up with inflation.
Yeah, exactly.
At least
Just
it can offset-
keep on top of
yeah,
a
it'll
lot
offset
of
what
those
we've paid
things.
too much for,
Offset
so
that.
that's good that you're on top of that.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, that's a big deal,
You
because
bet it
otherwise we
is.
go backwards.
Oh, yeah.
Is Trust Indiana an state of Indiana entity or a separate private company?
It is a private company that is endorsed, used by the state of Indiana. The state treasurer uses them, as well as any city, county within the boundaries of the 92 counties.
Okay.
They, like I said, their investment company actually is out, I'm going to say in Minnesota, maybe,
Okay.
but yeah. Are there any questions on I went through those 3 pages fairly quickly, and I think we need a motion to accept them in whole before we can move on.
Yeah, I was thinking that, so.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
Hartman, second by Watson. Any further discussion on the review? None, take a vote. All those in favor of such, say aye.
Aye?
Opposed, same. Carries. Okay, we have what, the outstanding checks to be receipted into the general 2 years or older. Tell me about that.
Any checks that are more than 2 years that sit on our book that are uncashed, at the end of that term, they get receipted back into county general.
Okay.
So this year, it would be any check that's outstanding as of 2021, and we have 4 of them. That's down considerably, but they're larger, for whatever reason, they're larger checks this year. So I just need a motion to be able to receipt those back into county general, and then, I work with the auditor's office to make that happen.
And will this is money that is due back to these folks,
And
and they never cashed
They
it?
never cashed the check or presented the check back.
And that
as-
doesn't go to like unclaimed Indiana or anything? It just goes back to,
We've had that discussion.
It should be, and I'm still in the process of figuring that part out, but I have like
but now we can just return
13
it to.
years of stuff to send.
So for now, what you want to do is just have it come back to the county.
Right, that way we're not having to deal with these outstanding checks, and that list continues to grow.
So anyone want to make that motion to return these funds to the county general?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? All those in favor of returning money to general? Say aye.
Aye?
Opposed, the same. Motion carries.
Discount from West there.
Yeah, I know, I don't know. Hopefully they've collected that somewhere along the way.
So that brings,
I felt guilty.
that brings us up to the 2023 stats, if you'd like to dig into that.
Yeah, this is kind of a snapshot picture of what happened in 2023, of how we collected. The top section shows that through tax collections, we collected $58,417,726.
And this is property tax, correct?
This is
In-
property
in real
tax.
ta-
Yeah.
Real tax.
Real
and-
tax, whether it came in through the door or through
Okay.
the mail or whatever. We collected $58 million in property taxes.
Okay.
Total deposits, this was money that came through other departments, whether it's the clerk's office, the auditor's office, or whatnot. $186,287 and
Yeah.
$283,343 came through other departments that actually circulated through our office. And then excise tax, this is vehicle excise through the BMV, lottery earnings, auto renewal, excise, aircraft, any excise tax whatsoever. We collected $6,082,970. through that means. And then, of course, our investments, we turn those over, 2.3 million. So $250,000, 253,088,000, 30.
Billion.
Yeah,
Quarter of a billion.
exact, yes, $250 million, $253,088,038 came through our office. So that's a lot of money that circulates between 4 people, and, it's a lot of responsibility for my staff. They take that very seriously. I have the best staff ever. They know their stuff. We've reorganized. We've kind of went through a 2-year process to try to get everybody trained on everything. We're down to just one item that we need to get trained. So it's a lot of responsibility, and I'm glad that I've got people working for me that I do. And then a further breakdown of the tax collection, just to see where that came through. About 52% was walk-in people through the coming in through the courthouse, the mail, or a drop box. So 52% there. 27.4% was from our mortgage escrow files. Those are its own little beast. Electronic payments, that's our online presence, credit cards, and then through our partner banks, 5.1%, and then just miscellaneous, 0.5% there. So, we track that because that, affects, where I need to have my staffing and where I need to reallocate resources there. And then our delinquency rate, we always keep track of that because this has an impact of, those people who don't pay. And it looks like it has teetered around 7%. It's been pretty steady. Obviously, we like to keep that as low as possible, but you're always going to have those that don't pay on time for whatever reason.
So last year, I have in here, and I don't know if we need it, I have that delinquency rate, that it represented about $2.1 million in delinquencies. Would that stay the same?
See if I have that dollar amount.
I mean, I don't know if I have to have it in there. I just was looking at what I did. Once a year, I don't remember.
Okay. On the big report here, Joni? Yeah. The tax sale?
Yeah. You could have sat up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She puts all my numbers together, bless her heart.
Right here, you're delinquent 2.6.
$2,697,620. That's the dollar
Delinquencies.
amount, yeah. Whereas, that's down from 2.766.
And then what is it? Is it a 5% penalty or 10% penalty after?
It's 5% for the first 30 days if you have no prior delinquencies.
No priors.
And then it's 10% after that for everybody. And that's where our Trex program comes in, where we intercept their tax refund. If they're government employees, they're not allowed to have delinquent taxes because why receive tax dollars if you're delinquent in your property taxes? So we notify those individuals first and follow up with their employer if we haven't received anything. So, there's steps that we do to try to get that delinquency down. Obviously, that's, better for us if we don't have it in the first place. Those programs have been pretty successful. Which you can see by the next number, the number of tax sales has gone down. Of course, some of the properties that, have fallen off, some of the prior ones from up in the northern part of the county. But still, that's still, we started out about 400 in July when we notify them that they're going to go to tax sale. Then by the time they actually get there in October, we only had 70 parcels. So,
20%.
yeah, so it's.
That's good.
Yeah, it is good because nobody it's
Do
not,
400 tax sales.
well, it's not our objective to
No.
take these properties away. And we try to work with people, we set up payment plans, we work with them.
Yeah, it's great, thank you.
You look at the previous years, that's down considerably.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than 22. Before that, it was quite a bit.
Yeah, but remember you guys
Everything was-
assigned
A bunch of
a
those to
bunch to
Butler.
Butler.
Yeah.
And those would have just been repeat
Yeah.
ones.
Okay. So we have the stats achievements.
Yeah, we always, like, at the end of the year, we always like to look to see what we've achieved this year, and then look forward, what's our goal for this coming year. So some of the things that we did in '23, we implemented a new online payment portal, Invoice Cloud. We went live February 1st with that. I can't say that is, we've had some issues with that. It's one of those things that keeps on giving to us, but we have hit those issues head on and have worked through them. And it's a much better system. I mean, people get a text alert, and that also helps our delinquency. You get a text alert that their taxes are due right from their phone. They can go into the payment portal and make that payment right away. We've had some really good positive feedback on that.
Good.
So it's just more of the back office administrative things that we were trying to still work out. We've earned more interest on our county money than in the last 10 years combined. I'm not so sure I'm going to be able to continue that. Interest rates will go down in '24, but I believe it'll be a marshmallow landing. I don't see them, taking a big steep decline. So we'll try to put as much money out there for as long a length of time as possible to keep hanging on to those higher rates as need be. We worked with Beacon Schneider, that's our GIS system, to get real estate, mobile home, and personal properties combined. That system, for whatever reason, if you wanted to look for a mobile home, you had to look under the mobile home process and not the real estate. Or if you got into the wrong platform, you didn't find your address, it just didn't show up. So it took some doing, but we worked with them, we got those all combined, and that, along with our Lao Tax Info portal, we have a much better product that we're able to offer the public to go out and search their properties. This year, for the first time, our tax sale, it was an online auction. We didn't have anybody here in the courthouse. That opened a bit, it was good in some ways and not so good, but it opened it up to our sellers. We had across the United States, we had a much better sale because of it. We learned some things from it. We're going to change for next year. We know not to let them all expire at the same time, kind of, do it in lots rather than all at once. But at the same time, we've got some other things to work out, but it's what most of the counties are going to, and SRI has been a great partner.
Is SRI still?
Yeah, it's
good?
still SRI.
They're pretty good.
They are very good. I would trade them for anything.
Very well organized.
Yes, yep. My first deputy, Joni, she completed 2 additional courses in addition to the one that she did previously for professional development leadership, and she found those to be very helpful. And so I don't know if you guys are aware, but she is going to be running for my position. I'm at the end of my 2nd term. This is my last year. So
Be in the May primary.
she'll be in the May primaries, so she is, I'm looking forward. I couldn't leave my office in any better hands. She's wonderful.
That's good to hear.
Yes, absolutely. Our goals for '24, this has been on everyone, but I think we've worked with the auditor's office to complete the cleanup of the remaining parcels, the unknown owners and unknown locations. It's probably not anything that's got a easy solution to it. But there's some things that we can do, and we know it's really going to have to be, a joint resolution or solution with the cities and, the county in general. So it's still on the list. Decrease our delinquency rate as well as postage costs for the county by utilizing Invoice Cloud through their marketing of the paperless billing. It only cost us for somebody to do an online bill 15 cents as opposed to the cost of printing the bill, mailing it out, and then, following up on that. So you're looking at savings of at least 85 to, $1 savings for everybody that we can get signed up for the paperless billing. Continue to be diligent about earning interest on the county's money. I'd like to earn at least $2 million. I think that should be an easy target this year, but it just depends on what the Federal Reserve does. I mean, it's just one of those things.
Or a 4% average yield would do that, though, so.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think, Sandy, and not to interject, but I've been watching this, and I know you said you don't think I think the government, I think people are really suffering right now due to high prices. They've put a lot on their credit cards. I think they're going to knee-jerk reaction that they're going to slowly reduce the rates. I think by the end of time next year, right before the election, rates go near zero. So I would encourage you to lock stuff up as long as you can.
As long as we can.
Because they're going to buy votes. Oh, hey, yeah, things are going.
It is an election year.
Yeah, just something to think about. I mean, you've been great on this. I'm my investment friends I've talked to really, maybe not zero on the rates, but they're talking Fed funds maybe 1.5%. And because, and handing out more, maybe QE5 type thing. So just something to think about that you might, if you can lock up money long term, it might not be a bad idea because I think it could drop significantly.
And that's very possible. I know, a lot of the readings I have, whether you're Democrat or Republican, anything about this office it's really, the only political thing about it is how you get to the position.
Exactly.
After that, it's
Right.
but, I think, the Federal Reserve has done a good job not falling off a cliff this year.
Sure.
But yeah, you've got
see.
some good points.
Maybe just cautionary, at least say, you know what, maybe I think we're at the peak of rates. Let's put it that way.
I would agree with
I
that.
think we
It's on
already
the
peaked in
da-
effect.
yeah.
Well, because the T-bills already peaked and came the other way.
Yep.
And that's a good indication of where the general rates are going.
Right.
So,
Yep,
anyway,
absolutely.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yep, no, that's fine. The other thing is, we've been working really hard to make our office paperless.
Nice.
And so one of the final things we have to do is our bankruptcy files. Some of those are pretty bulky.
Oh, I bet.
So we're trying to scan those and digitize those and come up with our process to make that, not gather so much paper in the future. We want to work with Community State to enable positive pay on ACH transactions. We currently have it on our physical checks so that anybody alters them, we know that immediately. We want to do the same thing with our ACH transactions. Everything is going online. We require all new vendors. We just need to put that process in place. It requires a little bit more technology than what we have, but in working with IT, I think it's
Is it just verifying the amount you authorize is the amount that was taken out of your account?
Yes.
Okay.
And nobody went in, fiddled
And
with it,
fiddled with
added
it.
a zero or a couple zeros or whatever, so, yep.
Especially if you have $50 million somewhere,
Yeah,
to be gone, right?
exactly, yeah.
All right.
Streamline our department green receipt process. This is when other departments bring money over, they come to our office, they get a green receipt, they take the paperwork over to Susan's office, and then they issue the quietest. I think there's a better way. We've got some things in mind that we'll work with the auditor's office to kind of streamline that piece of it. Cross-train my staff. The last piece that we have left in our office is the settlement process. I've got 2 employees that need to learn that. That's the settlement process is where we take the tax revenue and we slice it and dice it to send it to cities, and whatnot, and libraries and whatnot. So it is a very cumbersome, tedious process, and it's the last process because it's the most complex. So we're training on that. And then at the end of the year, transition my responsibilities to the newly elected treasurer. I'd like to have a seamless changeover. I'm hoping it will be my first deputy, my chief deputy. But whoever it is will get the office transitioned over, and so it's, things are running smoothly right from the beginning.
I'd like to congratulate you on the good organization and working hard to get our taxpayers a return on their investment.
Thank you.
And you've done a great job. You really have.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
This is good that you're working to with the transition and not just dropping it off on
Yeah.
someone. And, that's important. So we have this annual report. You're done, correct?
Yes,
Didn't
I
mean
am
to cut you
done.
off.
Nope.
We have this annual report here. I assume we need to have a motion to approve it.
I'll make the motion to approve the annual report,
And I will second.
treasurer's report, I should add.
Okay, yes. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on the annual report meeting here? Hearing none, take a vote. All those in favor of accepting the report, say aye.
Wholeheartedly aye.
Huh?
Wholeheartedly aye.
Okay, aye.
Well done.
Opposed, same.
Thank you.
Motion carries. And we will, okay, next meeting's scheduled for next year, January 13th, 2025, 9
I'll
a.m.
touch base with you on that. I don't know, since this is our first year going every other.
Right.
I don't know if they'll wait, that would be the every other.
That would be the- yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if they'll wait till then or if they'll start over and come back that first Monday on the 6th, and then we would be like the 6th and the 20th.
That's fine. I'll circle back with you.
Yeah.
It just needs to be done by the last Monday
Yes.
of the year, or of January, so,
Yes. I just wanted to throw that out there.
okay.
Do we need a motion for adjournment, or do we just adjourn?
Motion.
I need a motion to adjourn then. Move,
Second.
second. No more discussion. Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. How's that? All right, thank you, Sandy, really, that's great.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good luck, Joni.
Still
do
on as
just
far
fine.
I'm
as,
sure she will.
Yeah, because I got to ask something.
Have a
And
good
Sandy-
day. Thank you.
You got to sign this. Are we circling back to the Board of Health appointment? Did we find out anything?
Mike had some information.
Okay.
So Steve and his wife are moving to Noble County. It has to do with some health issues with her parents, and they have a place there. They need to be close by, so it looks like that's going to be a fairly immediate move, probably January, late January, early February, it looks like. He stresses that it has nothing to do with his job
Yeah, I'm sure.
at all, but he is more than willing to serve, but understands if living outside the district is an issue. So that's the,
Well,
that is the Reader's Digest version of what
sure,
I said.
yeah, and, his business to move is his
Yeah.
business.
Sure.
I don't even need an explanation. Herb Horum, I think, is another high-quality candidate. He's just a high-quality person. I think they're both high-quality people. So I don't think Herb's is in as many things. I think Mr. Teeters has a huge job out there with the school. I would think that'd keep his hands full. I'd hate to be in anything else if I was in that. However, he's expressed he wants to conserve. I'm leaning towards Herb just because I know of him. He's retired pretty much. I think he can
Very
handle
much.
the load. Well, he's retired other than everything that
Yeah.
he does, but I'm leaning more towards that, but I have nothing against Mr. Teeters. Especially since he's moving now, it just, Herb's here in Auburn. Is he still in Auburn, or did he move out of the country?
No, he's in Auburn.
Yeah, because he had the house here on the corner
Yeah,
forever. and-
he's over just.
is that a motion?
So I have one question.
I'm just speaking.
Just because I don't know. Does it or does it not matter that the recommendations are from the prior mayor?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No,
I
it
just,
says and he was the mayor at the time, and he recommended.
Yeah.
I agree. I just wanted to be transparent.
Yeah. That's-
They were done in a timely
Mm-hmm.
manner, so.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to go wrong with Herb. I've worked with Herb on a number of things over the years, and as well as with
And again, I'm
both
just,
of the other two. So.
my other thing is I love it when people want to serve, don't get me wrong, but if they're in too many things, I think there's conflict of issue sometimes can come up and then they have to recuse themselves or whatever it might be. And I'd like to see some newer people. I know Herb's been in stuff before, but I'd like to see some new people enter in, and when it doesn't hurt the process. You don't want to take a board of 9 and replace 7 of them with people that know what they're doing. But I guess, yeah, that would be my motion that we approve.
Okay, so
Herb
hold that thought.
to the board.
So we had a motion, Mike made a motion to
Oh,
appoint
okay, yeah, we
Steve.
have, yeah.
So,
Withdraw
Could it be
that.
ruled as died with a lack of a second?
yes, I just wanted to make sure
There's no
we're,
second on
okay.
So I would motion to install Herb on the board.
A motion and a second. Additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. No nays. Okay, anything else?
that. Beth will be pleased at getting him out of the house for a while.
Andrew,
I
anything?
have nothing.
You have nothing? I have nothing? Todd,
nothing.
Mike, nothing?
I know I'm hungry.
Rick, no-
So at the next meeting, when it's not so many things on for the start of the year, might talk a little bit about the hotel
Yeah, I was
late
gonna ask
penalties
about
and
that.
things, but let's just do that at the next meeting if everybody's okay with that.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
fine.
So,
fine.
okay.
Okay, and we are adjourned.
thanks, Andrew, for
Thank you,
reminding
guys.
me of that. I had it on my list, and I think my blood sugar is telling me that I don't need to do any more meeting.
We got a lot of stuff in